And there's nothing that I've thought about this when it comes to bullying, no matter if it's adults who are bullying other adults or if it's children or whatever, as I was talking about yesterday. And something that bothers me with all of this situation is that it seems to be so accepted to blame the person being bullied. I really can tell it's like something has to be wrong with you because people are treating you badly repeatedly, so something's wrong with you. And I mean, I think everybody, I think most people would agree that everybody has a right to be themselves without having to accept being treated that way, but by any way. And the other one thing that a lot of people say, and I don't think people are aware of what it actually are they saying, is that you shouldn't allow people to treat you like that. You shouldn't be so vulnerable. And it's actually like telling a person, for an example, would you tell a rape victim it's a fault because dress a certain way or act a certain way that get raped? I mean, any modern person living in a civilized world would say that a person who are getting raped deserve to be getting raped because of how he or she is looking or dressed and so on. I think it's something we can all agree about. But when it comes to being a victim of being bullied, and that is actually a form of abuse and assault, and then it's all suddenly the victim's fault because he or she behaves a certain way. And I often hear that a lot, like you shouldn't be so weak, or you shouldn't open up to people, you shouldn't trust people, you shouldn't be so kind to others, and so on. And especially like when it's people like I told you yesterday about when I was younger, those people who came to me for advice and then was being assholes in school, and also this person who did a similar thing 2 years ago. And but when you go back to me, I should have a right to be me, and I'm not the kind of person who turns away from people who asks for my help. It's not me. It would be I would be forcing myself to be something I'm not, and why should I have to do that? Because it's not like just because I am letting people in or letting me close that they are obligated or has a need of hurting others. I mean, it's not like this person didn't do this 2 years ago. It's not like this person has some compulsive behavior issue where it has to be hurtful just because I get a chance to be it. It's an active choice. And that comes from all kind of harassment, sophisticated. It's an active choice of a person to do it. And just because you have opportunity to do something, to be bad and do something really mean to another person, does not give you the right to do it. And the same goes for a lot of people are hiding behind other issues, like saying I was bullied before, so now I have a right to treat other people badly, or my mom was an alcoholic when I was little, so now I have a right to be an asshole. My dad was beating me, so now it's not my fault that I behave this way. And that is naturally your behavior, and my behavior too, is affected by previous experience, like losing Tella or this being in this abusive relationships I have been in before and so on. Naturally, they are having effect on my life today. And if somebody comes to me and say, like, yeah, my mom had mental disorder and my child was really, really awful, I feel for that person, and I have no problem at all to pity that person if that is what they want, and you can have all the support you can, and if you want to talk about it, I will be here listening, and if you need comfort, I can try to comfort you, and if you need a hug, you can come and give you a hug if that's what you need. And I would never say that your feelings are not valued, or that you are feeling worse than you should, or that you are not. Wouldn't turn your feelings down in that way. Naturally, I would completely understand and try to accept this, but the moment you let those feelings affect your own behavior in a way that you are hurting others, that's no excuse for it. It's not okay to do that. It could never be okay. It's never an excuse to hurt others. It doesn't matter how badly you've been hurt, you have never ever a right to turn that to someone else. You don't, just because somebody beated you, you don't have a right to beat somebody else. Just because somebody treated you badly, you don't have a right to treat somebody ever badly. And I think that is so important to remember. Always, it's not an excuse. And I hear about it so often, the people telling, I had this and this and this going on in my life, it was so awful and so on. And yes, it could be an explanation to why you behave the way you do, but it's not an excuse. And it's nothing you can hide behind. You can never hide behind that. And I think that is something people who are abusive very often do. They hide behind things and try to make the person they are harassing or abusing feel bad because they are getting angry or getting hurt, because you should feel bad for her because she has such a bad situation at home, you should be more understanding and so on. And it's just shit. Nobody has the right to treat another person the way those people treated me and the way a lot of people are still treating each other. It's not okay. It could never be. And I think it's very important to remember. You can never turn your own pain towards somebody else. You don't have the right. Nobody has the right ever